Today I told my wife, your underwear is too tight and very revealing. And she said, well, wear your own then, dickhead. Of course I won't, but you know, well, welcome to Shave&Butcher. Tonight we're doing a comparison shave. Quite some time ago, Francisco Cribari asked me to do a comparison between Martin de Candre and Saponificio Varesino. So that's what I'm going to do today. Vetiver from Martin de Candre, you've seen it quite a few times. This not so much, and I don't know why. Stella Alpina from Saponificio Varesino. Saponificio means soap makery, I think. Shaver of the day is Filarmonica 13 with stainless steel. And so we've got France, we have Italy, and the razor in between is España. Matti Lindholm's, one of Matti Lindholm's synthetic brushes for the Martin de Candre. Grey Dog's synthetic full moon for the Varesino. And here we go. So this is messy as always when you have two soaps, two brushes. I'm gonna do one half of the face with one soap and one brush, and the other half of the face with the other soap and the other brush. So just getting the synthetic fiber wet and squeezing out the moisture so it's not too wet. Okay, so we are loading. It's a CVB thing. It catches on. He refers to himself as the royal we. Or the West Virginia. We, perhaps. Is it West Virginia you live in, Christopher? It is, isn't it? Is there Virginia and West Virginia? I don't know. Okay. Oh, don't load too much. I did, didn't I? Okay, so pretty frothy. Well, not very, but a little bit airy when you load it. God, that is too much. I loaded as if I was going to shave the entire face. You know, it's muscle memory combined with idiocy, poor concentration, bad genes, tough childhood. It's a lot of things combined. Bad breath, poor sense of direction. It all comes together into a major cock-up of lathering. The leathery cock-up. Okay, this Martin de Candre builds up a lather very quickly. Still too thick. I almost want to rinse. You know what, I'm gonna take some of the soap out. It's too much. C'est trop. And I have the faucet tap faucet running. I accidentally called it faucet, which is North American. So some English and Anglophilians sounds sexual somehow. Corrected me and said it's called tap. Well, maybe in England. Okay, is that wet enough? Je ne sais pas. Peut-être pas. We pinch some water in. I'm going for a wet one, wet lather, not the pretty one. Too much soap. Okay, in the other corner, Grey Dog and Saponificio Varesino. Maybe I should probably dry it a bit. Both these soaps are very hard. They're equally hard. But they are artisan soaps, so they're just hard. Sometimes you think, because you've heard, that all soaps that are rock hard are triple milled, because that's how some soaps are made apparently. And I don't know exactly what that is, but some process that happens 3 times, and well, it's in machines where you can process the ingredients and squeeze really hard, and you get a hard soap. But you can get a really hard soap. Anyway, you take the Swedish Witch, for example. That's as hard as Saponificio Varesino. And there's no triple milling because there are no machines, because Sara is a poor artisan. But she makes it hard because she wants to make it hard. And she says it's, if I remember correctly, it's the ratio of potassium versus sodium, hydroxide, so alkalis in the mix. And I don't know which you take more of to get them hard. But anyway, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's triple milled, she says. And if it's an artisan soap, it most certainly won't be milled at all. Because milling is done in machines, and artisans don't have machines because they're poor. How are we doing? I think we're doing fairly well. It takes time though, this lathering nonsense. Even more water. More water. Lovely, looks like a CDV lather, that. I don't quite know how the CDV lathers are, because he bowl lathers a lot. I'm just going to see what's happening here. He doesn't talk a lot about the lather. I think it's quite possibly similar to Jeffrey Smith's lathers. Jeffrey talks about his lathers a bit more, and you get the feel for him. And he says, it's, what does he say? Not quite dripping, but almost. That's the worst Jeffrey Smith impression ever. I apologize. Filarmonica on the Martin de Candre. So they are very similar to make my kind of lather out of. So again, not a big, impressive lather, but you can make that with both. I know that. Thing is, I want, well, what Jax from the virtual groom room calls it a low density lather, and I want it quite wet. Scents is hard when you're mixing. I get much more of the vetiver, but the Saponificio Varesino, I remember when I use it, is absolutely fantastic in scent. A little bit on the dry side. Mind you, I rarely push Martin de Candre to become really drippy, you know? Maybe it's because it's a bit difficult to do. I don't know. I mean, what did I shave with the other day? I can't remember, but if you have, what did I have? Hallows, right? Well, Berchterman Ariana and Evans, PAA, there you go. Moon Soap, Singaria Man, OSP, Wickham, Signature Soap, the Swedish artisans. You know, you get that creamy stuff very easily. When I think about it with Martin de Candre, a little bit trickier. I mean, you saw with the SV soap that took a minute or so, probably longer, but it felt like a minute. And it's juicy and it falls straight off the bone. And it's a bit tricky with the Martin de Candre, it's true. I mean, this one, I only have one of each of these soaps. I just find Martin de Candre one of my favorite soaps because I love the scent so much. I really do. It's fantastic. More scent than soap, I think. Okay, we'll do an attempt with number 2. Pass number 2. Martin de Candre. I shouldn't have squeezed anything out. I'll add more water and I'll massage it a bit. See if we can get it really wet. It likes a bit of beating up. If you only apply sort of dry soap and add water, it doesn't quite work. You need to mix it up. You need to stir it in order for the lather to be homogeneous, I think. I'm going to shave up and down on the left side so we don't get crazy dry lathers or anything. Let's see how this works out. A few bubbles, that doesn't always mean so much, but I know people who bow lather try to do it until there are no bubbles, no big bubbles. Once it's on the face, you know, it's a different story. Well, this is a slick soap anyway, and it's a joy to shave with. I'm holding my finger underneath to stretch the skin. You know, I really put as much water into the lather as I could really, and it's not as wet as a lot of the other favorite soaps. So that's interesting. Haven't thought about that. Well, I have thought about that before actually. And I've been wondering if I should push it harder, push in more water. But this time I couldn't really push more water. Oh, soap everywhere. So how important is it really to have in a soap to make it, you know, fall off the bone, fall off the razor? Is that important? Not really. I haven't seen anyone else who gives a damn about it. I just noticed one day that it was possible to push the lather to that extent, well, that far basically. is it a proof of quality? I don't know. What do you think? You know why I do this. I don't only do it on camera as a show pony. I do it off camera as well. It's a bit for a laugh, but it is, I want to be able to moisturize the lather that much. You can shave with a drier lather, even with a straight razor, no problem. It's just the wetter, the better. Sister, I'm a poet. Okay, same thing there. I apologize, I had to spit soap out of my mouth. I look like Two-Face. I should clean it up and do proper Two-Face. Two-Face, the comparison wet shaver. If normal people only knew what we were doing, and we tell them, how silly is that? I do anyway. I've told loads of people, I shave with a kitchen knife, and they go, why? Because it's hard. Yeah, so why, idiot? They don't get it. In terms of slickness, I notice no real difference. To be honest, in any decent soap, they're slick. Soaps are slick. For me, the delta, yeah, see, it's the same thing here. Something with the second pass, I think. Even if it's super wet like it was on both sides, I never get the drippy effect. What was I saying? Nothing of value, clearly. Very nice. Yeah, slickness. So yeah, they're both slick. Then again, most soaps are. I don't quite know how you guys do it when you determine how slick a soap is, or that a soap. Oh, that's Jeffrey Smith. Lather, next level lather. How do you, this is slicker than that. I don't know, how do you do it? I'm not questioning that you are, because people can compare two wines from Bordeaux, and I feel they're exactly the same, and they go, no. So I'm not, Although I have a bit more experience in shaving than in Bordeaux wines. So, how do you do it? Is it just subjective, or do you have like a test? Like my lather falling off thing? Be interested to know. And I'm not taking the piss, I'm not questioning. Obviously, soaps have different slicknesses. But for me, when I get the consistency is not the word, consistens in Swedish, when I get it to the point where I want it, I don't notice a huge difference. I notice the difference in how it feels on the skin and how it feels afterwards, or if it's creamy, and that's subjective as well, of course. So I can certainly detect big differences in soaps, but in terms of slickness, I don't know. Oh, this was slick. Well, razor moves and then it is slick, isn't it? I'm being an idiot, but I'm, not taking the piss. I envy you guys. I also envy people who pick up scent note easily. It's not a big envy. No, it's not an envy. I'm impressed. It's not that important to me. It's not important at all. I think if it was important, I'd make an effort to educate myself. I should feel first, shouldn't I? The shave was equal, but you know what? If you have any kind of lubricant on your face, it's all down to the razor and the edge on the razor and your skills, of course. But if you're skilled like I am, then it's the razor. So equally good, very good on both sides. I prefer the lather of Saponificio Varesino. I always have. I close my eyes a bit to the fact that I never get a super uber, high density, wet, falling off the bone type lather with Martin de Candre, because I love that soap. In many ways it's my favorite, but it's because of the scent. And the fact that it's atrociously expensive, which is thrilling in itself. But Francisco, I prefer this. This is a better soap. I really think it is. It's better than Martin de Candre. And this one too, in terms of scent, it's fantastic. I don't use it enough. It's sort of at the bottom of the cupboard. And stupid thing, because I don't say it very often, but I always think, guys, you talk about the label on the soap, come on, because CDB and David, So Sharp David would talk in real talk, so I don't like the label, and I think, guys, you superficial people, who cares about the label? It's the soap. But I think, because I got the replacement box, so this is glued on an LL grooming box. The fact that it is, instead of being pretty or in what do they have? They have metal containers, Saponificio Varesino. If I had a pretty container with a nice label, I think I would pick it up more often. So, okay, so I'm a hypocrite. But at least I'm trying to be honest. This is fantastic. Is it the best soap in the world? No. And it's not, so it's expensive as far as I remember, but it lasts for such a long time because it is a hard, non-triple milled soap. So yeah, there you go. They both do the job of lubricating my face quite enough. So if I have a good razor, I get a good shave. That's not the thing. Scents are fantastic. It's slightly more enjoyable to work with the lather and slightly easier to get the lather to perfection with Saponificio Varesino. So I'm picking that. That's conclusion, decision, comparison done. Thank you, guys and gals, for watching. I have something really, really cool, only cool for me, not for you, in the mail. It came to customs in Sweden today. It was sent from America, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that should take a few days, and it should be mine because I had to pay customs. The bastard caught me. So we've got that. Well, stay sharp.